Episode 1, Ellie and Jade, beginnings, besties and building businesses. I'm Ellie.
And this is Really Fucking Trying.
A podcast where we talk about the ins and outs and the ups and downs of running a small business and being creative.
In this episode, we're going to be explaining what the podcast's about, why we've started it, and what we'll be covering. We'll also give you a little bit of background on me and Ellie so that you can get to know us a little bit better.
A bit about ourselves, how we
met, how we
came to be.
Why we exist.
Why we exist.
Get into it all.
So I think to start with, we should just tell people why, really.
Why are we doing the podcast?
What's the point?
Of everything, life.
Just everything.
Life in the universe. So let's start with why we're doing the podcast.
So, I mean, how did we even come about? We know we were at a market.
So basically, we were at a market together. And out of nowhere, you said, I really want to start a podcast. And then I said, I really want to start a podcast. And then we said, should we start a podcast? And now we're doing a podcast.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
I think basically it just kind of started as like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. And then it kind of spiraled.
And then it grew.
And then before we knew it, we were doing a podcast.
Yeah, because we were talking about it, weren't we? And I think then...
Yeah, like the idea came about in like September, didn't it? And we were like, oh, well, we'll have time to do it before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't.
And then the clock struck midnight on New Year's Day.
And we were like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Let's fucking do it.
Literally New Year's Day we started planning. So yeah, so should we explain who the podcast's for? Why it's about, what it's about?
Yeah, if you like.
I mean, I think it'd be important. But okay.
So I think we were sort of agreed right from the word go that it would have to be about what we do, essentially.
Yeah.
But
and to be fair, like, small business is 90% of what me and you talk about together.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But also,
it's
like...
fucking boring. We've got no other aspects of our lives.
No. But, no, I think the idea of, like, just that mindset as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to say it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
I think the reason you and me got on pretty much straight away was probably because there's this thing where you like just get each other straight away.
Yeah, you've got a lot in common without knowing anything about each other.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, we did just click straight away.
Yeah, you've instantly got like such
common ground.
A common ground there, yeah. And it's just, I always find it dead easy.
I think like when we do markets and stuff, but at markets you almost click with everyone instantly because you've all got that.
Yeah.
And then luckily for us, like that expanded and we actually realised that we like each other. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm not speaking out there.
Well, no, but I agree. It's like there's something about your life that you automatically get them.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're...
It's not like any other job, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not. And for me, I think, I remember when we were first talking about it, I thought, well, when I was a student and I knew what I wanted to do, I had this vision in my head of what it would be like 5 years down the line, and that I'd be doing markets, that I'd have an Etsy shop. Yeah. It was like, I'd really appreciated somebody sitting me down and saying, you're going to get so much satisfaction from this.
But
no, like, it's going to give you a sense of pride that no other job could have, but also... You're never going to have a decent night's sleep again in your life. Yeah. There'll always be things on your to-do list and Christmas is ruined.
Yeah, literally, yeah. You'll forget what a weekend is.
Yeah.
It's hard. But I wish I'd known it was hard. Not because I wish someone had told me so I didn't bother doing it, because I still would have done it. Yeah. But I just wish I'd known the reality of what it was going to be like.
Yeah, it's that. And it is just, it is definitely the good with the bad all the time. Because, like, I could be having the rockiest time of it. I could think, oh, God, I don't think I'm ever going to get another sale again in my life. I could think I'm burnt out. Or even some days I'm like, I can't draw. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the thought of somebody going, well, pack it in, then I go, are you fucking mad?
Yeah.
Just pack it in.
Yeah. So the podcast is basically it's for creatives, it's for small business owners, it's for students, it's for everyone in between that's had an idea about starting a small business, is running a small business, doesn't know how to run a small business, is struggling running a small business. Yeah. We want you to feel like you're not in it by yourself, because it's a really lonely career to have sometimes. But we just want to bring the vibe that you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone else in this...
It's a community.
Yeah. Everyone in this line of work is also struggling with the same things that you're struggling with.
It is literally
and
that,
it's easy, like, obviously a lot of our businesses are like through Instagram, say. And it's easy to get bogged down and like, oh, well, so-and-so is doing so well, like...
I struggle with that,
Yeah,
you know?
like, look how many orders they took to the post office today. And but that's not necessarily their reality.
And then you feel terrible because you're like, I'm pleased for them, but also, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And some days it's like that, but it doesn't even occur to me that on one of my good days I can post about it on Instagram. And I'd feel terrible if somebody felt that way about something.
Exactly.
You know, I'd feel awful.
Yeah.
And you just have to put yourself into other people's shoes, I think, all the time. It's only natural that you want to talk about the good stuff, but I think it's so important as well to have
transparent.
that balance.
So that's what we're going to do, basically. We're going to talk about the shit bits as well as the good bits, because we don't want you to have this idea of our fake reality that...
Which I think I very much had about you before I met you.
Yeah, and then you soon realised I was a fucking shit show. So that's pretty much what the podcast is going to be about, who it's for.
To summarise, even though this is you and me in a room right now, it won't work unless other people get involved.
Yeah, we want it to be a community.
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone listens to this and if they think, oh, I felt that way, or if they've got questions, or if they want a little bit of a follow-up to something.
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us, even if you've got a little story to tell that you think, oh, I think that would be relevant to that. Let us know.
So
tell
we are
us.
gonna. So we've got an Instagram account. You can find us at Really Fucking Trying on Instagram. And on there, like, our DMs are always open. If you've got a question, if you've got a story, literally anything, write into us. And the more points of view we get, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I think as well, for people that do want to remain completely anonymous, let us know. That's absolutely fine.
That's no problem at all.
And if you want to be 150% anonymous,
don't even want us to know who you are.
No, don't even want us to know. We have got a Google form.
Yeah, we have. So we've got, if you go to our bio, we've got 2 Google forms in there. One is to apply to be a podcast guest, which is obviously the opposite of anonymous. But if you do want to write in with something and be anonymous, you can fill out the other Google form, tell us your story, ask us your question, and we will never know
who you are.
Yeah.
Ever.
Completely secret.
No, but I do think it's really important that, because I don't think there's anything out like this out there at the moment, do you?
No, I mean, there is obviously small business podcasts, but I feel like it's more like how to grow your business, how to get more Etsy sales, and that's not what we're here for.
No, it's not.
Because we don't know how to do this.
We've been going a long time. We might have something to offer.
Yeah, no, we do. Like, we'll be giving our advice. Yeah. But also, please bear in mind, like, we're not experts.
I don't think we're claiming to be experts by any means.
This is an official disclaimer. Please don't do anything on our say-so, because we don't fucking know.
No, it's that. But I think at the same time, how many times has somebody said something to you that runs a business and you've gone, oh, I didn't even consider that. It's just the other it's a perspective, isn't it? And I think that's...
But even, like, between us two, like,
oh, God,
you've come to markets with me and you've been like, why is that there? Put that somewhere better.
Makes me sound like a cow.
No, not. No, like, in a good way. Like, no, it is. It's good to get someone else's perspective on things, because you just kind of get used to what you're doing and you don't think about it another way. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think, we've covered that bit quite
well. Yeah. So we do, obviously, we want it to be a community. We want you guys to get involved. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of every episode where we answer a couple of questions from Instagram. And like we said, we're also going to have guests on. So the guest episodes are going to be not just like an interview. And obviously, like, we do want to know about the guests. We want to know about your lives. We want to know about your businesses. So we will have a little bit of time on each episode with a guest on where we want you to, like, talk about yourself and all that kind of stuff. But
self-promote.
Yes, please. But then on top of that, each episode will also have a topic. So, i.e., episode 2 is going to be all about markets. Episode 3 is going to be about support networks. So the guest will get involved in that conversation, but we'll also have time to talk about themselves, and you'll get their point of view on the things that we want to talk about.
Yeah, because it's a new perspective again, you know what I mean? Even if you don't like what we've got to say, if you think, oh, that pair of gobshite.
Yeah, we might get someone on that you like.
Yeah, you never know.
Let's tell them a little bit about how we met each other. So I was at a market, I was trading, and Ellie was there as a customer, and she... So Ellie came to my stall, and she was literally like this little chaotic ball of sunshine, and I was just like completely like blinded by everything she was saying. But yeah, so she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you've got a stall here today, like, I'm so excited to meet you, like, I follow you on Instagram. And
for me, you know, when you go to a market, you know what it's like though, don't you? You go to a market and you see somebody there and you think, oh fucking hell, I follow them on Instagram. So the page I've got now, which is Ellie Francesca Design, that's been going for about 4 years, but before that I was forced onto Instagram.
By who?
In college.
Oh right, okay.
So for one of my modules I had to show that I had some sort of, my artwork had some sort of, not just me, my artwork had some sort of presence on social media, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I started posting like pictures of my work just to tick the box really. I didn't know what to do on Instagram at all. I'm not a social media person really. And you know, when you're looking for people to follow and you think, well, I might as well do something while I'm me.
Yeah.
You were like one of the first accounts that I followed, and that was on my old art page.
And you fell in love. Right?
No, but there's just something about when when you follow somebody for that long.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know them without knowing them, isn't it?
Yeah, but like when you're a student and like a teenager and stuff, you sort of think...
because I'm like, for context, Ellie, how old are you?
27.
And I'm 33. So at that time you were like in college age.
Oh, actually, I was a little bit older, so I reckon I was probably about 19, 20, but yeah.
And I can't do the maths, but I was like an adult. Not that you weren't an adult, but I was, do you know what I mean? I was an adult.
Whole 6 years older.
Yeah, so if you were 19, I was 25.
Fast maths.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was right maths, but it was fast.
So, yeah, I think you just sort of look up to them as well. And you sort of look, even just their Instagram pages, you just sort of look at them and think, God, I want to be like that one day. And you get like, it's almost like meeting somebody famous, isn't it? But I was dead surprised when I met you.
Why?
No, one thing really surprised me, because, you know, when you just make an assumption.
Yeah.
And I haven't read it anywhere or anything like that, but I wasn't stalking your
What
page,
did you think?
by the way.
Oh my God, was it horrible?
No, you've heard this before. I thought you were from Manchester. So I was proper surprised when you opened your mouth and I was like, oh shit, she sounds like me.
It's funny you should say that you thought I sounded like you. So I think we should address this now because it's episode 1. And
it could be a problem as well.
Let's get the elephant in the room out the way. So me and Ellie get told like literally all the fucking time that we sound identical. Like our friends have told us, strangers have told us. I did a few shifts at Ellie's day job and the manager there was like, you sound just like Ellie, you're from exactly the same place. And I was like, no, like Ellie lives in Runcorn and I live on the Wirral. And all right, they're not miles apart, but I just don't think we sound anything alike.
Say, I didn't see it either.
Hear it.
No, I'll tell you when I thought, oh yeah, they have actually got a point. I was in the studio with Sass one day and Sass was playing what turned out to be a voice note that you had sent to her.
You thought it was yourself?
I'd just been out for a ciggy and I walked in and I thought, why is this fucking weirdo playing a voice note from me when I'm in the fucking room with her? And then I thought, I don't remember saying any of this.
I mean, if it can trick you, it can trick anyone.
I know.
So obviously the natural idea was, let's start a podcast where you can't see us, you can just hear us and nobody will ever fucking know who's talking.
No, but it could be a problem.
It could, but I don't think we do. I think we can tell.
It's no good us being able to tell.
No, I think my voice is a bit more whiny than your voice.
I always think you sound like the non-smoker version of me.
No, I do. I think mine's slightly more whiny than yours.
Do what though? I do know what you mean.
Wow. When I went to uni, everyone in my course, obviously they were from around the country, they genuinely were always like, your voice is so irritating.
Oh no. I take offence to that now because we've got the same voice.
Yeah, sorry about that. So that's what we think of each other's voices. It's also how we met was what we were actually talking about. Yeah, so do you want to say a little bit about us, how we started our businesses, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but only if you go first.
Oh, fucking hell. All right. So my business, the elevator pitch, that's what they call it.
I've been so confused by you writing elevator pitch in the notes. I've been like, why does she want to have a pure chat about lifts?
So the elevator pitch, have you never heard that phrase before?
Never.
Maybe it's not a real phrase, I think it is.
Yeah, I think you made it
So
up.
it's basically like if you were in an elevator with someone and you only had like the time it took you to get to wherever you were going in the lift. Yeah. Like how would you describe it in that short amount of time?
What, a bio?
Yeah, it's the same
Just
thing.
say a fucking bio.
But it's called an elevator pitch.
Oh no.
All right.
Just crack on.
My business bio is I design cute and sassy text and illustrations. With a feminist or left-wing or body-positive undertone. And then I sell those designs on homeware, jewellery, accessories, that kind of thing. So I'm predominantly an illustrator, but I also do like sewing, jewellery making, that kind of stuff. I feel like it all kind of, creative things all bleed into another, don't they?
Yeah, I feel like you've missed out the one bit about your work that's the most obvious though.
Is it that it's pink?
It's very pink.
It's very pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in uni, all my work was like cute little bears and foxes and stuff. And it just
Can't
wasn't...
imagine you doing that at all.
No, it just wasn't me at all.
No.
Like, and then I was like, you know what? If I'm doing it, like I actually want to just make work that I like. So that's where the pink came in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how I started was like, my childhood was always quite creative. My mum's also an artist and we were always encouraged to like make art at home. Like obviously I was born in like 1991 and we didn't have like screen time and tablets and...
Screen time?
That's what kids have. They have like screen time where they're allowed on the tablet or the phone.
Have that.
Yeah, your dad tells you off. It wouldn't surprise me actually, you are naughty. But yes, we were always encouraged to like make stuff at home. Like my mum would always be saving like plastic bottles and stuff to like make rockets and shit like that. It was really cute.
Fucking Blue Peter kids.
Yeah, literally. My mum's got 2 Blue Peter badges. Oh. Yeah, she's literally a Blue Peter kid. But yeah, so we were always like creative at home. And in school, I wasn't very academic. Like, I'm not very...
Sorry. So
you easily believed that I wasn't very clever, didn't you? Yeah, I'm not very clever. I am in certain things, but I'm just not very...
You have your things, though, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not very good at being educated. Like, I don't want to listen to you trying to teach me something. Like...
Not me specifically.
Yeah. No, but like in school, I feel like if they'd showed us like a YouTube video, I would have been like, yeah, I get it. Because it was just like boring Mr. Jones stood at the front of the classroom. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I wasn't very like academic. And when it came to like choosing my A-levels, I just kind of... I knew the only thing that I enjoyed was art. But you have to pick 3, don't you?
Yeah.
So I picked art and media studies and ICT because I thought at least they kind of, I know they're not the same, but they kind of merge into each other like
like the good skills to have.
Yeah. And not that I was particularly thinking too much about my future at that point because I was...
Did you not?
No.
Oh, I used to think about that quite a lot,
no,
you know, when I was a kid.
I was a complete opposite. Like, you'll learn in this little about me, but everything I did was just like on a whim or based on what someone else was doing.
That's no bad thing, though, I don't think.
I think it is.
Do you?
Yeah. I'll tell you more.
Oh, okay.
If you want to know.
Yeah. We're going into whispering again.
I know, sorry.
Speak up.
Sorry. Because it was a little bit of a secret. So I chose art as my A-level, my main A-level, the one I wanted to do. After sixth form, I went on to do a foundation course at college, but that, like, I picked the same college that my mum had been to because I was just like, I don't know what I want to do, don't know what to do. My mum did art, so I'll do art and I'll go to the same college because it kind of, at that age, I was very, like I still am now, but I was very, very shy. So going to the same college that my mum went to kind of eliminated those kind of, I don't know where the classroom's going to be and I don't know what the tutors are going to be like because she could tell me. So it eliminated those kind of first day nerves that I would normally get.
Was it the same though?
Yeah. Oh, so she did hers as a mature student.
Mature student, yeah.
So she'd only actually gone to college like not a few years before me.
Only, yeah.
So yeah, so I went to the same college as my mum and I did an art foundation course. And on the art foundation course you did, the first term you tried a little bit of everything. So you did like graphic design.
I had done that as well.
Fashion, all that kind of stuff. And then for the rest of the terms you picked your specialised subject. So I really wanted to do fashion. But the friends that I'd made in that first term were all doing graphic design. So again, I made the choice not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I wish I'd chose the college that I wanted to go to rather than, that's where my mum went. And then I wish
Where did you want to go?
I don't know. I didn't even think about it because I just thought, I'll do that.
Well, I always think sometimes if it was the right decision at that time, then it was.
Yeah, you are right. I always wish like, I wish I'd done that for my reasons.
Yeah.
But it's like it turned out all right. Yeah. I'm here. I made it through. So I picked graphic design because that's what my friends were doing. And I did enjoy it. And I feel like I did. Obviously, I'm doing illustration as a career, so I got something out of it. Do you know what I mean? I learned a lot of skills and stuff. And then after the foundation course, I went on to uni. And again, like I applied for loads all over the country, loads of illustration courses, loads of graphic design courses. But yet again, I made the decision based on something stupid. So I got into UCLan at Preston and I accepted that one because that's where my boyfriend at the time was going.
Oh, jeez.
I know, that was a really silly decision, wasn't it? Spoiler alert, we did break up.
You don't say?
I do say. But even if we hadn't, I just feel like that was such a silly reason to make that decision. Do you know what I mean? Like the course was fine. I don't think it was necessarily...
I bet more people do that though than you'd think.
Yeah, probably. I don't think the course was necessarily better or worse than anywhere else I would have got in. But I just now wish, like, do something for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that was kind of shit because we were in halfway through second year and we just signed the contract for the flat for the third year and then we broke up. So we had to live together for another year and a half. No. Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't just, like, us. Like, we weren't, like, sharing a bedroom. It was, like, halls kind of situation still.
It still sounds horrendous.
It was horrendous. But luckily, like, he had a couple of friends that lived with us and I had a couple of friends off my course that lived with us.
Right, yeah.
And it was literally like the flat was like a corridor and one side of the corridor was him and his friends and the other side of the corridor was me and my friends. It was like really fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I think obviously that had a massive impact on like my mental health and stuff. Like when I was at uni I was diagnosed with depression and I think it was all kind of stemmed from that living situation really.
I don't think anybody would come out of that really unscathed, to be honest.
So then obviously like my actual degree was impacted by that a bit. And then like I did enjoy my actual degree, but again in my second year around the same time, so we had like critiques at the end of every week where you'd have like a one-to-one with your tutor and they'd be like, this is what we think you're really good at. But mine was, this is what we think you're really shit at.
Do you know what? That's weird. You should say that because I used to have like similar things and they'd always tell me what to come away from.
Yeah.
And I'd think, can you tell me what I should be doing and
what
I shouldn't be doing?
Help me.
Yeah.
So my tutor said in this critique, and I quote, I don't think you're very good at drawing.
Oh.
So I'm a year and a half into an illustration degree, living with an ex-boyfriend, absolutely fucking hating my life. And my tutor was like, meh. should you be drawing? So obviously I fucking shit myself and I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? What do you want me to do? But same as you, I was like, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you mean. So
I think they do it to test you, you know. I always
oh,
think
it
that.
tested me. I was tested.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, they want you to either sink or swim.
Yeah, and I long-term swam, short-term definitely fucking sunk. Like, I just spiraled. But my tutor, like, he was good. Like, obviously that's a really fucking scary, horrible thing to say to me. But it pushed me.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, go away and look at some artists and look at different techniques of work. And so what he meant by not being able to draw was I would draw with like really like sketchy lines. And he was like, you need to find a defined line when you draw in. So anyway, so I looked at loads of artists and I found this artist called Rob Bryan. I don't know if you're familiar. But he does these like really big, like intricate paper cuts. And I was like, you know what, I'll just try it. Like I'd tried everything I could think of. I'd done like watercolours, pastels, sketches, everything I could think of. And I was like, I haven't tried paper cutting. So I did. And that was the key to everything really. Because my tutor was like, okay, yeah, because now that defined line that I couldn't find, if you're drawing with a knife, you have to make a commitment to that line, if you know what I mean. So that kind of changed everything. And then I finished uni, I got a 2-1, which I thought was incredible considering I couldn't draw. Yeah. so I did uni. But then I finished uni, moved back home, and I just kind of somewhere in my brain it was like, you hated that.
It's the hardest part, I think, and I really want to go into more depth on this. Well, we aren't we, in a future episode, but I think a lot of the time colleges and unis do not prepare you, especially after an art course when you know you're not going to walk into a job the next day.
No, like my degree was very like children's book heavy. I felt completely like, if I don't want to be a children's book illustrator, what's the other job? Is the other job like teaching illustration? That's what it felt like.
Sort of led to believe that it almost is just teaching, really.
So the best thing that I got out of uni was they were completely obsessed with Manchester. It was really weird. So even though we didn't go to uni in Manchester, we didn't live in Manchester, we didn't study in Manchester, we studied in Preston. They were obsessed with Manchester. The tutors were very much like, if you don't move to Manchester after uni, you're not going to make it as an illustrator. Like, that's the place to be, apparently. All of our, like, school trips, is that what you would call it in uni?
No.
Uni trips? I don't know. Were to Manchester. So in one of them, they took us to the Manchester Print Fair, which is like, it's a market essentially. Yeah. And that really opened my eyes to things, because I was like, before then I'd just been like children's books. And at the print fair, I was like, oh, products.
That's actually really good that they took you there, actually, because it is showing you another angle.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can
it gives you a bit of a buzz, doesn't it? Yeah. Especially in there selling it.
Yeah,
and you think,
exactly.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So that was probably the best thing that I got out of uni. But like I said, like when I finished, my brain just put all the uni experience in a little box somewhere and was like, deal with that later.
I think it's so hard not to burn out the second you finish education.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
especially
so
like,
hard.
I don't want to be like, oh, poor me, but like the living situation I was in as well.
Yeah,
like
not ideal.
My brain couldn't figure out what it was that I hated.
Oh.
So it was just like, deal with that another time.
I mean, surely the bit that you hated was quite obvious.
I mean, yeah, but I just couldn't cope. Yeah, so I think my brain was just like, deal with that in the future.
Yeah.
But along with that went all my creativity. And I didn't do anything with art for like years after finishing my degree. Like I just worked in like pubs and restaurants and bars and things until I met Kyle, who's my partner now, who you know and we love.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and he really kind of pushed me back into it. He was like, look, you're just wasting that. Like, try it.
Yeah.
So I did. Like I was working as a restaurant manager at the time.
I cannot imagine you doing that job.
I was great at it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I was really good.
Could you do that thing where you balance like loads of plates on your hands?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you were carrying drinks from the bar, you had to carry them all on this like tray, and I always was like, oh my god, I'm gonna spill it, and I only spilled it once.
Yeah, drop it.
Yeah. And I got it on. So I went to put it down on the table, and it just like flipped and went all over the customers that was sat there. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But I was a manager, so I couldn't even be like, I'll send someone else.
I'll go and get me manager and just hide.
You know what I did? This is really, really bad. We had like, I think they were like 17-year-old girls, like fresh out of school, like the sweetest little girls
I feel like I'm going to think you're a right bitch.
You are. I was
story.
Like, can you deal with that table?
Oh no.
I couldn't go back. I was too embarrassed.
Vile.
I know. That's horrible, isn't it? It's probably one of the worst things I've ever done. No, the customers were proper horrible about it though. Like, obviously you would be, but
you wouldn't.
One of the customers was like, "I got these shoes for Christmas and you've ruined them," and I was like, "I'm sorry about that." Yeah. So anyway, I was really good at that job. But yeah, so I was working as a restaurant manager. Kyle really pushed me back into doing art. He was like, just try it, just start off, get a few prints on Etsy. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown business, just see where it goes.
Yeah.
If you enjoy creating, you can just create for yourself. Like, it doesn't even have to be a business at all.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So that's what I did, and I put a few things on Etsy, and it didn't go great, but it was fine. Like, obviously, I was full-time employed, so I wasn't doing it for the money per se.
Yeah.
But then me and Kyle went for a house together, and it's a bit tricky to explain. But so me and Kyle went for a house together. We got the house, we put the deposit down. Obviously, great. We were like adults doing our thing, doing our adult life.
What's that like?
So for like 2 days, it was incredible, and then as you're about to learn, it goes very much downhill. So the restaurant that I was working in, the owners called us in for a meeting, and they were like, we are closing. Right. Bear in mind, I'd just spent like my life savings on a deposit. I didn't have life savings, but everything that I own.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not. And I don't have much money ever, so it was my life savings. So the restaurant's closing is what they said. And we were like, shit. So we had to pull out of the house. We lost the deposit, very sad. And then the owners said, oh, actually, we're going to sell the restaurant on. You'll all be kept on, all the staff will be kept on.
Oh, okay.
So I could have kept the house, but it was too late to go back. So deposit's gone, house is gone, dreams are over. But I was like, at least I've still got a job.
Yeah.
So then the restaurant got sold. The new owner was fucking vile.
Was he?
One of the worst humans I've ever met in my life.
Oh, God.
Like, he was sexist, he was racist, he was just generally a fucking arsehole. Like, he would be like screaming in your face, like in the restaurant, like full of customers. So basically, I was like, I just don't want to work for him. Like, he's fucking horrible. Yeah. Which is really sad because I'd actually really enjoyed working there. Like, before he was there, the owners that sold it were really nice. Yeah. And like, it was me and my best friend that ran it as managers. So it was just like a really cute situation. And then he came along and ruined it. So I went for a job interview somewhere else for a similar role. And then I went to do a trial shift. And on the way home from a trial shift, they phoned me and said, you got the job. So I was like, okay, this is great. Yeah. So I was literally like on the phone to them. They were like, you've got the job. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, that's wonderful. Hung up, phoned Kyle. And I was like, I've got the job. And he was like, oh my God, that's great. And I was like, I don't want it.
Really?
Yeah, literally. I don't want to train somewhere new. I don't want to meet new friends. I don't want to learn how they do it there. Yeah. Like, it's not the job that I wanted to do. I don't want to start again in it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, actually. You end up getting a career somewhere that you didn't even...
I didn't want to do that, yeah. So, luckily, like, at the time, obviously, we were devastated that we'd lost the house and stuff. But in hindsight, that was the best thing that could have happened because that would have pushed me into having to work there. Oh, yeah. But Carl was just like, just quit. Don't take the new job. Quit your old job. Try and do art. And I was like, I can't do that. What about... And he was like, what about what? We've got no mortgage, we've got no bills, we've got no rent. What about what? We've got nothing. But I was really fortunate. Like, at the time, obviously, I was like, oh my God, yeah, we've got nothing. But now I'm like, we had nothing. But luckily, like, my mum and dad were really supportive as well. Like, they were like, you can stay with us as long as you want. This was like 5 years ago. I don't think they thought it would be this long, but here we are. So I just quit. And I did Etsy, and it, like I said, like at the start, it wasn't great. But then, so that all happened with my job and stuff in January 2020. All right. And then in March 2020, COVID-19. COVID came. Why do you hate me singing? COVID-19 came in March, so I was like 2 months into a brand new business, and I was like, shit. Yeah, you were, I think everybody was in some sort of way, weren't they? But yeah, so I was just shit myself. But then everyone had to be like isolated, and everyone started shopping online, started shopping on Etsy, and then that little bit of time, like lockdown, got me enough sales to produce more stock and new products, and that COVID kind of got me off the ground essentially. So yeah, and then since then, I've just been doing it full time. I feel like we've both written quite a bit about ourselves just to cover. Lot, isn't it? We've both done this thing, and I don't think either of us have done it consciously. We've only gone up to 2020. I just feel like everything's been the same since 2020. You know what I mean? And I mean, a lot of people are probably in this situation. Like, COVID really did change our businesses. Yeah. So since then... It started, man. Yeah, well, same. But since then, it has kind of just been... And then I've been doing the business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much me. That's how I started. That's what I'm doing. I've learned things about you there. Yeah, maybe you've told me all that before. And I mean, I definitely have. I've learned about you that you don't fucking listen.
Oh, Jade, you might have to ask me more questions because haven't I been panicking to you about this bit? Good Jade, I don't know how to talk about this.
So start with, what's your business? What do you sell? What do you make? Where do you make it? How do you do it? Tell me everything.
Okay, so I'll start with the name of the business. So my business is called Ellie Francesca Design because it's really original. Creative, yeah. I don't know why I went with that, you know. Really,
to be fair, mine is just my name too.
No. You've got a more interesting name than me. No, but the thing is, I can barely spell Francesca most days. So, like,
yeah,
why?
I've been struggling to do that.
That started, as I think I've probably interjected in your bit, but that did start in October 2020, to be precise. And it's a really common question that I always get is, like, people go, oh, did you just pick up a pencil one day and you were just, like, this really good at drawing?
That's how I imagined it, to be fair.
I feel like I'm being really smug there. Do people always just ask you?
Have you always been incredible?
No, but when I was a kid, I always wanted to draw, but people as well, like portraits. Yeah. And no interest in animals, no interest in landscapes. Really? It was always people. But even as a kid, I was like, yeah, but Ellie, that's not a job.
Yeah.
No, yeah, a job. Yeah. You hear about, like, you know, about artists like Van Gogh and things, like when you're a kid, don't you? But, like, you know, you sort of go, okay, well, that's me hobby.
Yeah. But even, like, famous artists like that, you often hear, like, oh, they didn't make it till they were dead.
Yeah, till they were dead, yeah. I always hate the term portrait artist as well, and it makes, even now, like, a few years down the line, I really do cringe when I say it. And
I just hate being like, I'm an illustrator.
Yeah, when somebody introduces themselves and goes, I'm a doctor, we don't all think, oh.
Not bad.
No, but you don't. You just think, oh, fucking hell,
saving lives, are you?
No, but the term portrait art really struggles to this day, and I try and encourage myself to say that about myself.
Yeah,
because
that is
it's
your job.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, when someone asks what I do, and it's always that question as well, isn't it? What do you do?
Yeah, but you find yourself almost putting yourself down because you're like,
yeah,
oh,
you do.
I just do like little drawings.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because I always end up talking about my day job, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk about my day job at all.
Because that's not you.
It's not me, no. But the weirdest thing was as well, when I was a kid, as I say, I was always drawing, but I was not the kind of kid to watch telly, really. And even when I was like a little kid, kids TV didn't interest me at all. I feel like I went straight from CBeebies to like BBC Two.
Like, you're an old soul, aren't you?
Yeah, but no, but I didn't like that as a kid. I always didn't want people to know that about me either. Because, like, I didn't read, I wasn't into games, like, and I felt like sometimes I'd be putting on a front a little bit sometimes to fit in. You know, like some kids try to be dead edgy and different. Yeah. I wasn't. I was the opposite.
I just want to be normal.
I just want to blend in. And I loved music as well, but that was like my thing. I loved it. Like, any different type of music. I don't know. I always just felt like music was like the only thing that I could really like properly get into, really. That and drawing. And I don't have a lot to say about high school at all, really. It was all right.
To be fair, I think I missed high school out completely.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I will say, though, I definitely knew I wanted to do something in art. And even when I was like a teenager, before I'd even left school, I was starting to get commissions as well.
Oh my God, amazing.
So I think my first commission, I think I was about 13. It's only like word of mouth and like family friends and things like that.
That's
but
so
still,
cool.
you know, I'm probably charging something ridiculous. Like, give me a tenner for...
Like 400 hours work.
Yeah, probably. But I remember taking business studies and art because I sort of thought, if I ever do something with me art...
It's good skills to
the
have.
business, they're good, just good skills, basically. Not that I'd ever fucking remember any of it, I don't, but...
It's in there somewhere.
But I left school and I will say that I wanted to get a job straight away.
Oh, okay.
And I did, straight away. I wanted the first job I could find as well, which turned out to be Chinese takeaway on the estate where I live. I enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed it. No, I don't know if I did enjoy it. I like the people I work with, that's about it.
Sometimes that makes it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then I went to college and I went to Mid-Cheshire. I loved it. Don't know what course I did. It was some sort of art and design course, but it was like what you said, you know, what you do.
Course.
Yeah, it might have been actually, yeah. You did a little bit of each thing, sort of. I wasn't paying any attention, to be honest with you, at all. Just wanted to have a good time,
You're
really.
naughty. To be fair, at like 18, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And I was probably a bit of a dickhead as well. But I don't know what happened towards the end of those 2 years, but I think I must have started to take it a little bit seriously because I wanted to stay on.
Right.
And do the HND course at Mid-Cheshire. I really like Mid-Cheshire. I actually haven't got much bad to say about it at all, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. But I always compare Mid-Cheshire to Eurovision. one of them. It's like so shit, but you absolutely love it and you wouldn't change it for anything. But yeah, I stayed on and did the HND course there, and I really enjoyed it. And I had like a module in college where I had to go and interview an artist in their studio.
Oh, wow, okay.
But I googled it. I literally put, I think, into Google, studio artist near me. And this website popped up called Hazelhurst, and there was an artist on the website there, and so I sent her a message. And her name was Katie, by the way. I can't remember her surname for the life of me, but her name was Katie, and she was a really, really fucking good pet portrait artist.
Oh, that's cool.
Really good. And I messaged her, and she said, oh yeah, come on, like, just come up and see me. And I said, well, where are you? I said, says this is in Runcorn. I said, but she says, oh no, it's on the high street. And I thought, you're joking. So knocked on this fucking bright green door to be let in to this, and went upstairs, and I looked round, just like around me, and I thought, fucking hell, this is like a proper studio.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like pure creativity.
Yeah.
And I had a chat with her. She answered all my questions. She was great, got everything I need, and left. And I remember ringing my mum afterwards, and I was proper like in awe of this place already.
Yeah.
And my mum said, what did you make of it? I said, it's a little bit dingy. It was really cold. Steps were a fucking nightmare. I said, yeah, it's not great, Absolute bollocks. I love the place, but I was trying to convince myself I didn't. And literally that night I got home and my phone pinged, and it was Katie saying to me, they've actually got a room available in this place if you want it.
Wow.
I remember my mum was in the room with me as well, and I went, oh, I've just had this message. There's a room available at that Hazelhurst place. And she said...
But your mum was like, I thought you hated it.
My mum was like, fucking slagging it off before. Yeah, and I was like, and she was like, we'll get the details off her. So I got the details from Katie and obviously the price and everything like that. And I thought I'd be an absolute dickhead to pass this up. I didn't have any need for it at the time either. Like,
good investment though.
No, it was, but it felt like way too good of an opportunity to not take up. So I took it.
Wow.
And stayed on my H&D, obviously. And this is where things get dark. Towards the end of the HND course, so I'd say around about the last few months, sort of early 2018, things just started to get a little bit shit, and there was nothing there that nobody else doesn't go through at some point in their lives. But do you know when, like, you're 19, 20, whatever, and it's like the first time that you're going through it, just felt ugh.
Yeah.
And I think I'd been so sort of happy and carefree up until that point as well, that it was just like...
shit.
Yeah. No, but it was. And I was smart enough to not let that drag me down and end up failing my HND just because of a shit last few months. I actually put more work into my HND and got a better grade because of it.
Okay.
But stress. Just really stressed about all sorts. And it was starting to take its toll. Like, I just didn't feel well. And it was as simple as that. I just didn't really feel well any of the time. Yeah. I'd go to the doctors because I was trying to get it sorted and go, what's actually going on here? And the doctors were like, oh, fucking hell, you again. No, but it's really hard to describe. It was just this general sort of lull. Yeah. I was really, really scared about leaving education and standing on my own 2 feet.
Yeah,
like,
I found terrifying.
It was horrible. And I felt earlier on in the course, I was like, no, I'm prepared for this. It'll be absolutely fine. Yeah. But the closer it got to it, the more I was
you
like,
get this like dread in your,
in
your tummy, don't you?
And I hadn't even given uni a thought at that point, so I was not asked about having a degree. But then suddenly something changed, and I was. Okay. And I'd say in about 2 weeks, I'd set up all my UCAS shit.
Oh my God.
And got an interview at this uni, got in, and I was like, okay, this is great. This is a safety net. Yeah. But that was all it was. It was a safety net. I don't think I was particularly looking forward to going there, doing the course. It was just like, oh, okay, this isn't scary anymore. Yeah. HND ended in sort of summertime, and like I relied on that gap as well between college and uni to fix things, really, And I thought, oh, well, now that I'm not doing anything for just a couple of months, maybe things will be okay. Yeah. But I knew that I had this new lower level of health and I was not here for it.
It's not a vibe.
And then started uni and, surprise, surprise, hated it. Oh. Like, I was never going to be in the right headspace. Yeah. It could have been the best course in the world. I still wouldn't have been in the right headspace at that time. And remember how I said, this is the part of the story where it gets a bit rocky? Well, this is the part of the story where it gets really fucking strange. Okay. So, and there's no way that I can tell this bit without it sounding bizarre.
That's okay.
So, left uni, and I felt a little bit, like, you can sort of breathe a little bit. Like, I don't know, I felt really like, okay, I'm doing this now, and I'm not scared anymore. Okay. And it was like you know, you're crossing the roads with like an adult and you have to hold on to the hand. And then one day they finally go, all right, I'm going to let go and you can cross the road on your own. Well, it was like somebody had let go and I'd crossed the road on my own and I got hit by a bus fucking immediately. Right, so I left uni on the Friday. Sunday night, I had whacked my hand so hard on the coffee table that I thought, that's broken. And I thought, what a fucking start to get off to.
Aww.
I didn't know if it was broken. I just sort of, it hurt.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it's like when you stand on a bit of Lego and you just say fuck a few times.
Yeah. And you think that's it, it'll pass.
Yeah, that's it, it'll pass. Yeah. And it just got worse and worse and worse.
Oh, shit.
And this was over the course of like a week. And I remember going to work, and you know when obviously I think I was still at that age where people around me, they know better. They're a bit older than me, they know better than me. So showing everybody. And most people, I remember the people at work were going, oh, Ellie, I think you've broken a few of your fingers there. Everyone said to me, don't go to the hospital, there's nothing they can do for it. Nothing they can do for broken fingers. So I just carried on ignoring it. And then one night I was at the studio, a lady at the studio, who I'm not going to name because she'll just feel really smug about this, came to my door and looked at my hand and she was like, Ellie, go to fucking A&E.
Oh my God.
And I said, no. I said, the adults have already told me there's nothing they can do for broken fingers, like it's a waste of time. And she went, it doesn't look right at all. Yeah. Said, go to the walk-in. And she pretty much stood there and went, are you going to go to the walk-in? Are you going to go to the walk-in? Just non-stop. So in the end, I just said, oh, fine. So I went to walk-in centre, went for an x-ray, and she went, oh, your x-rays, nothing's broken. Oh. And I went, oh, shit, I'm so sorry. I said, I've really wasted your time, haven't I? And I went to grab me bag, and she went, whoa. You wait right there, please. And I said, what? And she went, this nurse.
Nothing's broken, but.
She really worried me. No, she went to me, nothing's broken. She went, I'm really worried it's not broken. Long story short, ended up in Western Hospital for a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with a condition called, I always say this, osteomyelitis. Okay. I don't know if every doctor that I seem to meet says that word differently, but that's how I say it.
I mean, I've never heard it, so it could be right.
I don't know why I'm saying it. It's a bone infection, basically. But had I ignored that for a little bit longer, what they told me was it would either have led to fingers just being completely...
Oh my God, so that lady in the studio saved you.
Don't give her the benefit.
She did, though. Oh. You wear her a lot.
Stop. No, but they said to me if you'd have left that even a few days later, you know, it would have been amputation or full-blown sepsis as well. God. That's another risk. I can laugh about it now, and I think that's the key. Sometimes you just have to look back, because I look back and go, what the hell even happened around that time?
But just think if you'd let that get worse, that's your career. No drawing for you.
Exactly. Well, it was my right hand, to be fair, and I am a lefty.
All right, you'd have been all right then.
Well,
you should just let them.
No, we wouldn't have been because I've not finished the story yet. Left hospital 2 weeks later.
No.
Swollen hands.
No.
Out of nowhere. No accident or nothing. Just suddenly both hands as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, really swollen, really like bad.
And did you think, I'll just see how I get on? Or did you go back to hospital?
My head fell off. My head fucking fell off. I remember it. I remember I could see that my hands were getting just, every time I looked at them, they were getting slightly more swollen. No dexterity at all. I barely moved my hands. Yeah, hands were a huge concern because here I am thinking, oh, I'll make a go with this art thing. Oh, I can't move either of my hands. Yeah. It's a bit of a knock.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But around this time as well, so obviously between all the fucking hospital appointments and still having tests as well, because I think they knew something was wrong at this point, but couldn't tell me what. So these random flare-ups where my hands were like double in size. And it was around this time as well that I did start trying to get into a habit of using my studio a little bit more, because I'd still been using my studio right through from when I got it, but it was just to obviously finish my coursework for college and things like that. But this sounds really weird. I was so shy. I was really...
No, you weren't.
No, I was.
No, you weren't.
No, honestly, I was. I didn't speak to anybody. There's like 9 other people in the studio, 9 other artists, and I just thought, oh God, they know what they're talking about. Aww. These are like proper professionals. And I felt like, what's that expression? A tiny fish in a big pond. Yeah, is that it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Aww.
I just felt like
I can't imagine you ever being like that.
I just felt like I wasn't at the same standard as these people, and that was almost like a fraud a little bit. And I was sort of mute, really, but. It got to a point where I was like, if you're going to be in here more often...
Make some friends.
Start fucking talking to people. Show an interest in what people are doing. Yeah. And I think they recognised that I was shit scared as well. Yeah. So I think they started to sort of try and get me involved in things.
That's cute.
I'm really glad they did, to be honest, because...
Imagine if you were still there now and you were just like, I have to speak to anyone.
It's been nearly 10 years. Don't know anyone's name, but... they started to involve me in things more as well.
Nice.
So I started going to like studio meetings and things like that. So and slowly, gradually started having a bit more to say for myself.
Your studio is very like a little community, isn't it?
Yeah, it's collective. So we do work together on projects. It's not a case of we just rent a room and we just see each other in the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It is a collective. We do things together. We are very much, even as individual artists, we are part of that.
You are Hazelhurst.
Yeah, I always think of myself, it's like Ellie Francesca Design, but I'm also part of Hazelhurst. And they were really good around this time as well. Obviously, I was struggling and I was very much sort of in that recovery sort of thing of just trying to get myself better, really. But obviously, that's quite a long process as well. But they started to involve me with things. So I was helping out at Kids Art Club, which I loved. Aww. And it was, you know what I mean, just getting involved with anything. Did an exhibition at the local library with Hazelhurst. I shadowed workshops.
Oh, wow.
And commissions started rolling in as well, and I think that was purely because I was being there more and getting my name out there a little bit more. And word of mouth as well, because obviously artists know people, and things just started rolling in. I remember in 2019, I did a children's book cover.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so I was just doing like all these different things, and as I say, there was commission work as well. And even though obviously there was still the odd wobble because I was still trying to get myself better as well, and you know, it takes a long time sometimes, doesn't it? But I just look back at that, I really enjoyed myself. I just really enjoyed trying all these different things, and that really started to put like...
It gives you confidence then.
It gives you confidence, but also I started to think, oh, actually I could do this. I've just done a year of doing all kinds of different things to do with art. There's no reason why I can't do this. June 2019, I'd already had a sort of idea that this might be it, but they told me basically, we think you've got rheumatoid arthritis, and that's what's causing all the shit with your hands. That's what's affected your dexterity. At this point, because of the amount of flare-ups that I've been having in my hands, I've got almost complete nerve damage at the ends of my fingertips, so I actually can't feel anything at the ends of my fingers. I remember after that diagnosis, everyone I told was sort of like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's awful. But I was like, no, actually, that's really good. This is what I've been waiting for now, and we can actually move now. Yeah. So coming off of 2019, I went into 2020 thinking, this is my fucking year.
Spoiler alert.
No, honestly, but I already had this idea in my head. I remember I still worked at the Takeaway as well in all these years throughout all this. And I remember saying to the girls at Takeaway, one of these days I'm going to pack this in. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to draw musicians and bands that I like. I'm going to try and sell them. I used to say it all the time to them. I used to say, I'm going to get this up and running. I'm going to have an Etsy shop. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they, rightfully so, used to say to me, fucking do it then. I'm sick of it if you go on about it. Just either do it or don't, but shut up.
That is step one.
No, but I always used to sort of make an excuse. Yeah. And I don't know why, but I just never felt like the right time.
It's easier than doing the scary thing, isn't
it? Yeah, but I think people at the studio even got a bit sort of, you just fucking do something. But you do what you say you're going to do. Could you, at any point,
ever.
It's good to talk about it for the rest of your life. Obviously, I really had like, what's the expression, the wind in my sails?
Yeah.
Is that a term?
I think it is,
But yeah, I was feeling really like confident and good about it. Like I was really excited actually about where it could go as well. March 2020. You know, in that time that you could see we hadn't gone into lockdown yet, but the rating was on the wall. Yeah. And I remember packing up my stuff at the studio, and the lady I shared the studio with at the time, a lady called Rachel, I was going on, I said, I'm going to lose my job. I said, working a fucking takeaway, you know, it's I'm going to lose my job. And she went, you don't like that job? I said, it's not the point, Rachel. I mean, she had a point, but I was like, she had a point, but it wasn't the point.
Yeah, it was a different point than I was making.
And she went, well, why don't you? She went, why don't you use this time to actually crack on?
Yeah. Do the things you've been saying you're going to do.
Yeah, do the things you've been saying you're going to do. Build up a product range. Yeah. She said, by the time all this is finished, you could have enough to open an Etsy shop. Yeah. And it hadn't even occurred to me to think that way. And it's exactly what I did. And I thought, oh, do you know what? No one's going to look back at this time as being like a happy time, like nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, the least I can do is try and get something good out of it.
Yeah, and you did.
And I did. And then by the time I come back to the studio, I think when restrictions just started to lift slightly, I did have about 12 portraits altogether. And also, during lockdown, I'd started doing courses. Again, I'll probably talk about this more going forward, but I started doing courses with the women's organisation.
Okay.
Yeah, like business courses with them, and they were great, and they were really fun as well. And like it was that because I was really worried as well that I might not be clever enough to start a business.
Yeah,
like
I didn't mean like I agree. No, I understand that feeling.
Agree, quicker, Jade. No, but I always thought, oh God, do I have like the know-how to
Yeah.
start a business? You know what I mean? You think there's a load of things that must go into it. So I started doing like their webinars and stuff during lockdown, like literally all the time. Like I loved it and got really useful information as well.
Yeah.
They paired me up with like a coach thing that could give me like direct feedback and I could go to them with questions as well. And they were brilliant. They were really, really good. And it gave me a focus as well. And I just think I'm really pleased with everything that I did there, even though it was lonely and I was on my own.
Yeah.
It was...
You made the best of that situation.
I made the best of it, yeah, and I did something that did put me ahead.
Yeah.
And...
You used the time wisely.
Used the time wisely, and then 4 years later, here we are. God, it's going on 5 years later now. It's scary.
That sound means it's time for Q&A.
Yay!
So this is a little segment of the podcast. We'll be doing this on every episode, we think. So we're just going to answer a couple of questions from our gorgeous Instagram followers at the end of every episode.
As best we can.
Yeah, as best we can. Yeah. Again, like, huge disclaimer, please don't, like, quit your job on our say-so or...
We have had a couple of questions already, haven't we? Where we've gone like, oh my God, how do we broach this without...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, don't do anything drastic.
I think we're just a different perspective, aren't we? And I think sometimes you just need another point of view. Yeah, you just need another point of view, yeah.
We don't know.
From someone that gets your lifestyle as well.
We don't necessarily have the right answers, but we have our answers.
Yeah, we can only say what we would do.
Yeah. So, question 1.
Liverpool Leopard, it's Karina.
That is Karina.
How to deal with you're so clever, your stuff is gorgeous, this stall is a bit of me, and then they walk off into the sunset without spending a penny.
I love Karina.
I do.
She's so to the point. We're gonna have her on as a guest. We've already booked her on one of the episodes, but you're gonna love her because she's fucking great.
She's funny.
Yeah, in this scenario, it's really fucking hard because you want to just shout at them like, if you like it, fucking buy it, spend your money, then I can eat tonight. Do you know what I mean? But instead, they're just like, that's cute, bye.
I know, but I think it's a really tricky one now.
Because there is literally nothing you can do about it, really.
No, there's nothing. You can't control what somebody else is going to say to you.
You can't argue them into buying it, sadly.
Imagine, we'll just buy it then.
That is what you want to say, though, isn't it? But I think I always try and be like, take a business card. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Because you never know, like, they might be genuine in what they're saying. They might be, like, the day before payday.
Yeah.
Or they just can't afford it right now. So you might get a potential order down the line, a sale from it down the line. Or, like, at the very least, you might get, like, an Instagram follower or just a fan or...
Just because it hasn't converted that day doesn't mean that it's not going to convert to a sale at a later date.
Yeah. So the advice I would give is to use that to promote yourself to them. Yeah. Because if they're already liking it, chances are they'll want to follow you or buy it in the future.
And I know that I've done that myself as well because, you know, like if, say, one of us has a break at a market and the other one just covers their stall for a bit while we have a...
That's what they say on EastEnders.
Say it again.
Watch the stall.
No, but... I know that when I've been round, and it didn't even occur to me really until this question came in, I will go up to another trader and go, oh, that's lovely.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
No, but I always make a point to take a business card just because I'm a nosy bitch as well.
Yeah.
And
you are.
no, but the thing is though, when I'm Christmas shopping or like...
Yeah, I've got like a drawer just full of business cards that I go to when I've got a present to buy.
And I've done that before. Yeah. I've done it with Karina.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you literally have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, my advice in that situation would be use it. If you can't make a sale, use it to at least promote yourself.
It is frustrating though, you can't deny it, especially when you get a lot of people say the same things to you and you've still yet to make a sale.
Yeah, and it's almost like it gets you down. It doesn't, even though they're saying very nice things to you.
That's when I try and remind myself they've made a conscious effort to say that they like something.
Yeah, they could have just
they could have
been rude.
They could have
said,
been rude.
What the fuck was that shite? Do you know what I mean? At least they've said something positive.
Yeah, it's like that, and you know they could have just walked away and said nothing, but they've actually taken the time to go, oh, actually this is nice. Yeah, and you can only take that at face value if they mean it. Yeah, thank you.
Buy it. Thank you. Follow me on Instagram, please. Thanks.
This next question does sort of link in as well, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, it does. I picked them purposefully.
Oh,
So the next question is from House of Urati. Sorry if I've said that wrong. They've asked, how do you not take everything so personal when you're the only person behind it?
Yeah, it is a tough one, I think. it's similar to the last question. It's just, you're so exposed when you do this.
It's very vulnerable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like I was saying before, like when I worked in like a restaurant, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, you do.
If the food's crap, obviously the chefs probably would care, but I didn't give a fuck if the food was shite.
Poison someone, who cares?
If they're like, this was horrible, and I don't care. Like, sorry about that, I'll refund it. Like, it doesn't come out of my wages.
I know what you mean, though. I do know what you mean.
Yeah, so...
It's a good thing this is going well for us, because after this goes out, we're never getting a job anywhere.
We are unemployable. But yeah, so it's very different to that, isn't it? Like, because you've physically made it.
Yeah.
You've physically promoted it.
Yeah. It's your baby.
Yeah.
Your business is your baby.
And especially markets-wise, like
yeah.
face-to-face with customers.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, like I was saying about the other question, like, at least they were saying something nice. If they're not saying something nice, it's really fucking difficult.
I try and find the humour where I can.
I laugh it off and then cry about it with you later.
It is difficult though, because to be honest, even recently, so this is at a Christmas market, someone wasn't rude to me, but they were making comments about, I'll tell you what they said actually. So the comment that they made was, this is all a bit art school for me.
Oh.
And I just sort of thought, no, but it was neither here nor there for me. I sort of thought, well, I did spend 4 years
Yeah,
there,
I went to art school.
I thought, is she trying to insinuate that there's something snobby about my business or something? But I then just thought, but you know what? What annoyed me when I got home is that market had been lovely.
Yeah.
It had been so lovely. And I'd had people coming over that had specifically come to see me that day, and I was so flattered.
But that's the only comment you were focused on.
9 out of 10 people can be absolutely lovely to you and just be like, I was like almost to the point of emotional of how nice people were and how repeat customers, ones that I haven't seen for a while, just so lovely. But I went home thinking, oh, that lady said my work was a little bit art school.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not even necessarily an insult.
No, it's not. I don't know why.
I mean, I think she probably did mean it as an insult.
I think she did, but
she didn't clarify.
I wasn't going to ask her to
How
clarify.
did you say it? Did you say, oh my God, this is so art school?
No, she didn't. No. But I just thought, oh God, you sort of wonder what they're insinuating. In reality, that it could have just been a fucking throwaway comment that they've made off the top of their head.
She's never thought about that again.
Yeah, she hasn't thought about that again, exactly. Yeah. So, and also, even when something bad happens to me and somebody does say something a little bit shitty, what's the first thing I do? It's voice note all the other girls that do
Can you believe
markets.
this happened?
Yeah, exactly.
No, literally, like, I've had comments like that at markets, like, not.
We could do.
Yeah, we'll do a whole episode on that, actually,
That'll be fun.
Yeah. But just like, people just say things as like off the cuff. Kind of,
they do.
And then they literally, she will never think about that again.
Yeah.
But to this day, it's playing on your mind, and that was a month ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that'll stick with you forever.
Oh, God.
No, it might do, you know what I mean? Like, people don't understand how...
It didn't hurt me, it just annoyed me, but I feel like I spent more time being a little bit miffed over it than I did thinking about
appreciating the
lovely people who I'd met that day.
Yeah.
And I hate that the human brain's sort of wired that way, and I don't think it is just me. I think lots of people are like that.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Like
you said, you can have 9 out of 10 people tell you you're incredible, but then one person will be like, nah.
Maybe we're all just pessimists.
Yeah, we are. It's sad, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. How do you not take everything so personal when you're the only person behind it? In honest truth, I do take it personally. Maybe you're better answering this one.
If you've got people around you, that you can just out. If something happens and you think, oh, as long as you've got some people around you that you can go, you never fucking guess what happened to me today.
That's what gets us through, isn't it? I think,
especially people that can take the piss as well. I find really helps because you end up laughing, and I think to do this, I think it's self-deprecating sense of humour really absolutely helps. I really do.
Like after that, sorry to keep using your example, your art school example, but after that you were like, can you believe this woman said this to me? And we were all like, yeah.
Yeah, Ellie, you are a knob.
But it's that humour that gets you through it. Like,
you've got to laugh.
You've working with the general public, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt.
You have, yeah.
So my actual advice to their question would be you've got to try and laugh it off.
Yeah.
Like, it is hard to not take it personally because it's you that's done it. It's you that's made the product or whatever. So yeah, my advice would be, fuck them, who cares?
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them.
That's our advice.
And that's our ongoing advice for every episode.
It's an ongoing theme of this podcast. They don't like it, fuck them.
Fuck them. So yeah, that's the Q&A for today. So the topics we're going to cover in the future episodes are pretty much everything. We're just going to try and get as many episodes out until we run out of things to talk about, really.
I don't think we will run out of things.
We could do this for eternity. But until people are bored of listening, maybe. Yeah, we'll talk about everything from like market must-haves, social media tips, burnout, mental health. But also remember, if there's anything that you want to hear us talk about, drop us a message, comment on one of our posts, DM us, anything.
Voice note us, we don't mind, do we?
We love a voice note.
We love a voice note.
Yeah, you can find us at Really Fucking Trying on Instagram. And also don't forget you can apply to be a guest. So if you fancy joining us for a little chat, you can come to the studio.
A little chinwag.
Yeah, we're based in Liverpool, but if you can't travel to us, we can do it over Zoom.
Not yet, we can't.
Not yet, because we don't know how.
Yeah.
But in the future we can. So still apply if that's your scenario. Yeah, and you can find the guest application in our bio on Instagram. That's it for today, I think.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
That's been fun.
It has
we
been.
should do more of these.
I've enjoyed it. I don't care if they have. I have.
We've just had a nice little chinwag and put the world to rights.
Nice little get together. So yeah, thank you for joining us. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Don't forget, we'll be doing these fortnightly. So tune in again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And in 2 weeks, we'll be talking all things markets. We'll be explaining what it feels like to be face-to-face with your customers and everything else you can think of to do with markets.
Everything.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.